Good evening and welcome to the Monomoy Regional School Committee. This is Thursday, May 23rd, 2024, and it is 6:30 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the annual meeting where I, as superintendent, calling things to order, and our first order of business is to vote for a new chair of the school committee. It alternates between Chatham and Harwich each year. This past year, we have had Meredith Henderson from Harwich as a chair. So I'd like to entertain nominations for chair. Tina?
I'd like to nominate Betty Gray for chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
Jackie? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? My work here is done.
Yay! Good job. Congrats, Betty.
Well, thank you very much. And then we will look for nominations for the vice chair. Right?
I'd like to make a nomination for Tina Gaines for vice chair.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes.
Thank you. We'll be a great team, Betty.
Welcome back, Tina.
Welcome.
It's like the song. Sorry, that's in my head. Thank you. Okay. All right. Do we stay as is?
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on to the next item on the agenda is our Monomoy Regional High School student representative.
Good evening, school committee members. I hope you all had a wonderful month since I last gave my report. This week marks the seniors' last official week at school dedicated to finals. We celebrated Senior Skip Day at Bank Street Beach, hosted by the Harwich Police Department. A big thank you to all involved for making it a fun-filled beach day. Monomoy also held its very first senior walkthrough, which was very special and emotional for me, especially with the little kids holding the signs. It was instant waterworks. But I hope it remains a cherished tradition. Last week, we enjoyed the Senior Spirit Week, which concluded with a senior class trip on Friday. This is all in preparation for graduation on Saturday, June 1st at 6 p.m. Currently, this week is Spirit Week for the high school with FinFest scheduled for tomorrow. The concert band and chorus hosted its final concert of this school year last Thursday, and the week before featured the Senior Arts Night, which celebrated the hard work of all the performing and visual artists at our school. And in the world of sports, all of our spring sports teams have had very successful seasons. Congratulations to all of the athletes and coaches for their hard work and dedication. Also, AP test season is finally over. Congratulations to all of our AP students for their hard work despite some distractions during the AP statistics tests. Some special events this month included the Hope Squad celebrating the beginning of May with a week dedicated to mental health awareness. This initiative was a great way to spread awareness and encourage students to speak up if they are struggling. The high school also hosted the Multicultural Fair, which was a wonderful and delicious way to celebrate all of the various cultures represented in our school. Additionally, high school interns and their mentors expressed their gratitude through various events such as having breakfast together, and students with teaching internships who also aspire to become teachers were able to sign a non-binding commitment to teaching. A special thank you to Ms. Armstrong for her continuous support and internship coordination, always striving to do her best for the students. Thank you for listening to my reports throughout the year. It has been an honor and privilege to present them, and I hope you enjoy them as much as I did giving them. I wish you all a wonderful summer, and I hope to see you at graduation. Thank you.
Thank you, Talia. We'd also like to call up Christina Tomasco at this point.
Hi. I would like to do it here from
Sure.
the spot I've had for 2 years. So, hello everybody. My name is Christina Tomasco, and I've had the pleasure of being your student representative for the past 2 years. I've been sitting in this back corner listening to you gab for about 250 hours now, so it's time for a good old-fashioned Christina ramble. I hope that this is not too long or presumptuous of me to say, but this time here was more important than anything for me growth-wise, and in some ways this is my goodbye to high school, so forgive me. Outside of this room, I am the founder and president of Monomoy's Gender Sexuality Alliance, a leading student group on the Cape and Islands for LGBTQ education and equality. I am an elected member of the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee to the Superintendent. I am the daughter of 2 low-income wash-ashores, of a disabled mother and a laborer father, a big sister to an amazing little sister who is, no offense to all of you, smarter than anybody in this room. And thank the gods above, I am a senior at Monomoy. I was put in Monomoy by my parents for the best education, the amazing staff, and the promise of a future. There are stellar supports offered to the school for those who struggle to be here. Trust me, I know, because I had to use all of them to graduate and to succeed, and it didn't feel right to come here and not say that. Back to my role here. My position to you all is required to the state, and mostly it is a make what of you will experience for students. The role is designed so that students can speak their minds on relevant issues. Yet, in a professional space where everything is behind a wall of vocab and years of experience, this position falls flat. I hope this position is more integral to your work in the future, and that you put more care into the results of this position. I've made it my mission to learn as much as I can to pass on to my successor, to bridge the gaps left before me, for whoever it may be that sits before you next year and the year after. Fortunately for me, and whoever will be sitting here in the next spot, I've had some amazing mentors who took the time to teach me the way. I'd like to thank a few. So thank you, Mr. Brown, and thank you, Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith is out changing the education system as the superintendent of DY, and Mr. Brown is a retired teacher here at Monomoy High School. Thank you for inspiring me to be a change maker on the professional scale. Thank you, Miss Jordan, over there, Miss Wheaton, our high school's librarian, and Madam Linau, the high school's French teacher, for checking in with me, for protecting me and treating me with the respect when I found it hard to be a kid, a student, a leader, and a daughter. I don't think I would have made it through high school without you guys. Because at the end of all of this, I am still a teenager. I am still a student. I am still my parents' daughter and the product of a systematic injustice that is without a doubt ingrained into our education system. Many students in the U.S. are seen as metrics to the state, who graduates and who doesn't, what percent of those are Black or Hispanic or mixed race or Indigenous. Some of the students here are seen as just stereotypes or no good in the eyes of education in general. I am well acquainted with this data as my role here. I am well acquainted with the pain it brings students on all levels. I am aware that you all want to do something for the betterment of our children, for me. I have been aware that you all have been fighting for me all of my life, but seeing that work translate into community, sometimes it is hard to feel it or see it. I need you all as I leave and move on and hopefully come back one day and see it for myself. I need you all to see the students, to give them the same opportunities I got through luck and fighting tooth and nail to be seen. As a student who speaks for all students, we need students like me and the ones who helped me write this present in the decision making. We need them to know what you are signing them up for so they feel supported like I did, so they feel seen and belonging in a system and not just living in it. I want you to know who is making change systematically right below your noses with less resources and money and time and all of those important things that take to make this system run. I want to turn your attention to learning some of the names of the student leaders we have here at Monomoy, as it is truly our biggest strength. Bobby Rose Brown, author, speaker, and changemaker, junior at Monomoy. Fiona Moore and Ashley Anderson, student leaders of the Empty Bowls Full Hearts Initiative, juniors at Monomoy. Lily Gould, who practically runs and attends and supports every single volunteer event, senior at Monomoy. Oliver Tadama Wheeling, the lead-in voice in the initiative in the high school against LGBTQ harassment and violence with a great passion, sophomore at Monomoy. Arden Gingras and Amalia De Castro, next year's GSA president and vice president, advocates and activists, sophomores at Monomoy. Cassandra Cruz, the one driving force in the Young Women's Club, junior at Monomoy. Please take a page out of their book, apply it here to policy and curriculum just like I did. Keep an eye on them, the students, because they will change our community for the better. Keep an eye on the policy, the curriculum, and the classroom, and the building behavior of students, because we will shape the community that you all provide for. Thank you for this honor. I thank you for my future, and I thank you for keeping your attention on students, even if it's just me, Talia, Annalise, and Lauren tonight. Thank you. I know you will do well because you did that for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Well said, and we appreciate all of your time, efforts, and the patience of listening to our 250 hours of gabbing.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you,
It's been a
Christina.
pleasure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to public comment. Do we have anybody here for public comment?
Good evening. I'm Sheila House. I'm a Harwich resident, and I'm also part of Harwich Children's Fund. And this is Annalise Langelier and Lauren Langelier, and they're going to tell you about some spectacular news for this summer.
Ladies and gentlemen, parents and grandparents, aunts and uncles in the Harwich community and beyond, we have an important announcement that you'll all want to hear.
Harwich Children's Fund is hosting Circus Smirkus this summer for a two-day event under the Big Top behind the Harwich Community Center. Circus Smirkus is an internationally known acrobatic circus featuring top-notch performances from young people ages 11 to 18 who come from all over the U.S. and across the Atlantic.
The Circus Smirkus Big Top Tour will set up their tent here on July 17th and 18th for 2 shows per day at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. This year's theme is the Imaginarium, the night the toys came to life. Circus Smirkus always leaves audiences smiling for days. It is an unforgettable experience.
The host for Circus Smirkus is Harwich Children's Fund, a local, all-volunteer nonprofit whose mission is helping Harwich kids with essential needs resources and operates throughout the year. The profits of this event will go directly to our youth. Who knew that having so much fun can also help so many young people? You're not going to want to miss this awesome event, so spread the word and get your tickets soon. You'll be helping so many kids in our community. And finally, Sheila House has an appeal for a wonderful way you can take part in helping us have the best event ever.
So one of the things I'm going to leave here, right down there, is some information on homestays. One of our deals with the circus is that we put up kids. I'm going to have a couple at my house, and it's really fun. It's 4 nights, and you take them to their shows and maybe take them to the beach and stuff like that, too. So if you know of anybody that's interested, they can either get in touch with me or the circus directly. So thank you for listening.
Thank you for your time.
See you at the circus!
Thank you. Well, it's kind of boring. We're going to move on to reports and discussion. That was very entertaining. So we'll start with welcome new school committee members. Welcome, Brad Schiff. Nice to have you here, and it'll be fun. If you have any questions, obviously, we've all said, we're all here for you.
I just want to say thank you very much. Having spent some time over the last few weeks meeting with the school principals and the school system staff has been absolutely fantastic, and really looking forward to contributing to the betterment of the entire school community. So I'm looking forward to it.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
And our new Harwich representative, Bree Rose, has not yet been sworn in and will be joining us in future meetings. So we're looking forward to that. Next on here is feedback presentation Quebec trip, April 2024.
Bonsoir, good evening, everybody. I'm Pauline Linnell. Bonsoir.
Hi, I'm Lane Katowski, Spanish teacher here at the high school, one of 2.
And I teach French. It's pretty obvious with my accent, anyways, right? So we are here to thank the school committee and everybody in the community for a wonderful trip to Quebec that we had the pleasure to take between the 15th and the 19th of April over spring break.
She said hand over your shoulder. Whoops. Okay, there we go. Nice.
So we just did a quick recap of the highlights of our stay and how that trip really met everybody's expectations. I believe it was a great success. We The kids were really immersed into a different culture because the minute we crossed the border, everything was in French. Even the word stop is not stop. It says arrêt at the border. And also we had the opportunity to visit a lot of historical, landmarks both in Quebec City and Montreal. So the kids were immersed in colonial history, architecture. We also took a deep dive into the story of Native Americans, Native Canadians.
Indigenous, yeah.
Yes, indigenous population. That was very interesting.
Great, got it. Okay.
We also had the greatest pleasure to visit the planetarium, which has, for those of you who like insects, has a wonderful insectarium, and the kids were really fascinated with that.
And the botanical gardens.
And the botanical gardens, which are right next to it. As far as sports are concerned, well, we had the chance to tour the Bell Center, which is where the Montréal Canadiens were the nemesis of the Boston Bruins play. And the kids were very, we even had the chance to visit the press.
Private tour of the
private
press
tour
box.
of the
It's
press
amazing.
box. It was really, really
Kids took
nice.
pictures like as if they were being interviewed.
Yeah,
with the press.
it was really a lot of fun. So we have a little, we put together a little photo recap afterwards. We also toured McGill,
Yes.
which is, as you may know, one of the greatest institutions in Canada. It's the English-speaking university, the major university, and they are undergoing major transformation, but that's a different story. The kids also love the art.
Yeah, the Montreal Museum of
Thank
Fine
you,
Arts.
the Museum of Fine
Yeah.
Arts.
Fabulous.
And, we also were very impressed by how diverse the artwork was. And finally, I think the icing on the cake for me was the Montmorency Falls, which is the highest falls in North America, higher than the one I can't pronounce. What's the one?
Niagara Falls.
That one.
Right.
And it was really, really, really beautiful. We had a fabulous guide, and they really enjoyed the scenery.
Yes. Okay.
Do you want to talk about the reenactment?
Oh, absolutely, sure. So the last day we just as we were about to leave, so as Madame shared, we did get to see both Montreal and Quebec City. It was like a Monday through Friday, go as fast as you can, see everything as much as possible. So the last day we squeezed in a reenactment of the military, and we left from Quebec City. Yes. So the Indigenous, the Native Canadians,
And the French.
and
And
that was
the
fabulous.
British.
And the British. And we had a fabulous experience, and the kids actually got to load the cannons as well as some other paraphernalia. So that was fabulous. And I want to mention too, just as we're discussing this, to Madame's credit, that the wonderful thing about this experience, I mean, it was a fabulous trip, but also the fact that it was really accessible, that a lot of the times, we have these wonderful trips that the kids go on, but what I really appreciated about this was that many children that had never left the country or had never had the fortune of going on one of the other tours got to participate in this because it was less than $1,000 for them to go. We took a bus, which we had a wonderful bus driver too. He like Speedy Gonzalez, but it worked out. And so that was wonderful that a lot of kids got to participate. We had over 40 kids. They all got along super well. It was across all grades, from 8th grade to seniors. We celebrated a couple birthdays along the way. So I was just really happy to see that. And I think for some kids that have a little bit of fear of like planes or being far from their parents, they got to just dip their toe in the water, So we really had a fabulous time. And I just want to self-plug for one sec that if you're curious, because there's so many pictures, and we will show you some, about pictures or what we did or anything like that, the trip lives on Instagram. You can follow us or check it out at instagram.com/MRHS in Canada. There's like a highlight for every single day. We went ice skating. I mean, we really did it all. We went to a sugar shack the last day where the kids got to literally drink the maple syrup out of the trees. So what more could you ask for, honestly? So please check us out on Instagram.
And before to conclude, I just wanted to thank the school committee because we were able to take two moderate to severe special needs students, my daughter included, thanks to the generosity of the board, and we had a special chaperone for them, and they were absolutely
Had a wonderful time.
they had a blast. They just were the most participative of all kids.
Yes.
Because, no filter, so it was a lot of fun.
Right.
So anyways, thank you so much for allowing, everybody, no matter what their abilities are, to participate in this trip.
And we also got to sponsor a child to go on the trip as well from the Sunshine MRSD Fund. So that was wonderful. That the child was super, super grateful, so excited to go, first time out of the country. And the kids loved crossing the border and having the experience with the immigration too. So that was great.
It was a little nerve-wracking, but
Right.
again, take it from somebody who's been through immigration a lot. Do you want to show the?
I think that's it, but is it separate for photos?
Let me just make sure I pull up the, no, that's
Pardon me. No, it's all good. Please check us out on Instagram. We have so many fun pictures, moment to moment. Oh, there we go. Moment
There
by
we
moment.
are. I
Awesome.
don't know if you can.
We just
Can't
zoom.
zoom in a little bit, but.
Oh, that's great. So there's that amazing view from the Modern Arts Museum, Old Quebec City.
That's the insectarium where the kids
Insectarium.
taking, never seen so many butterflies in my life.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Stella and Claire.
We had crabs.
crabs.
Everybody knows what crabs are.
Yeah.
That's the
Those are the
Monomoy
falls. Yes.
Montreal, and to the right
McGill.
is Quebec City.
And maybe
And that's
there's the Bell Center.
The Bell Center.
Yes. Oh, and that's in front of that amazing, beautiful hotel that I do not remember the name of.
Chateau Frontenac.
Amazing. Yes.
So we can't wait to go back.
Yes. Thank you so much
much.
for your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I just ask make a comment and a question?
Absolutely.
Comment allez-vous ce soir?
Ça va bien, merci.
Bien. I just find this an incredibly well-rounded experience for students. I mean, literally touched all the bases. Is this something that we do every year going to Quebec, or is there a trip every year?
Well, where do I start? So we had COVID. So I've been on the staff for, this is going to be my 6th year.
This is year 3 for me.
Year 3.
Yeah.
We had COVID, so we didn't have anything going on for a couple of years. And then we had planned a trip to France, which didn't happen for, mostly, security reasons.
Yeah.
Back then when there was, a lot of problems in France. And so this is the first time in a few years that we managed to do a short trip like that to Quebec.
Yes.
But would they be, so are you looking into potentially a trip next year?
Yeah, well, you know what? There's competition. There's so many trips every year.
So fight for your spot. They're going to Costa Rica again. They're going to the Galapagos, Greece.
And so I think it's 3. If
Japan.
3 trips a year, I think that's pretty much, that's a lot of choice already. So I think if we could, do it again in a couple of years, that would be reasonable.
Yeah, merci beaucoup.
Je vous en prie. Bonne soirée.
Madam Chair, so I guess my comment, kind of coming off of this, because it's interesting, so many of our trips, you're getting on an airplane. So with this one, you're traveling by bus, which is a whole different experience. So I'm just one school committee member, but I would argue to have that bus option always.
Right.
So
It was,
Yeah.
6 hours, 6.5 hours.
Yeah.
It went by pretty
It was
fast.
easy, yeah, and it was comfortable.
yeah.
No,
'Cause
really
it's-
is. It's really
whole
doable.
different-
You could do a long weekend in Quebec, no problem.
You can, and I was just there in September, and the whole province has, you have to speak French now. No English. So it's quite the experience. Yeah.
Good.
I would also comment and kind of piggybacking on both that I think we had just as many trips go out this year as we will next year, and you still had 40 students
Yeah.
that signed up for that. So that speaks to the accessibility of the program
Exactly.
and the trip. We used to do a Washington trip a long time ago, which really butters my biscuit that we still don't have that, because the most important place that we should be
Yeah.
having trips to is, in fact, in our own country. And I loved when you guys came to us and even did this, that it's accessible for students, it's affordable for students.
Right.
It gives them the opportunity to, like you said, get your feet wet over the border somewhere, experience what it's like outside of our country.
Right.
And there's lots of different variations, I'm sure, of that trip you can take, or even going to different areas just over the border. So I would encourage you to come back and not be discouraged that other foreign trips go away, because like I said, you spoke to a population of students that this was accessible for, and I think that will continue to happen. So don't be discouraged by the other trips going on.
Okay.
I too would like to back that up because
Yes.
it's also cost. I mean, that trip was affordable for a lot of families where the other ones are not.
Right.
So I do think that you're speaking to everybody when you're putting these trips out. And like you said, everyone had a wonderful time, great experiences, and it's important. They're our neighbors. Like, why wouldn't we want to
Yeah,
learn
of
more about
course.
that too?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
thank you.
Good to know. Thank
Anybody?
you.
Thank you.
Great.
Next, we're doing the Latino Festival on Cape Cod at the MRHS.
Here we go. Wait, No, she's going to. Okay, Blizzard. Okay. All right, fabulous. We're back. We're back. So we're so happy to be here. Again, I'll introduce myself. My name's Lane Katowski. I am one of two fabulous Spanish teachers at the high school. And believe it or not, I am a graduate of this amazing high school. I graduated in 2016, and I did 2 years at Harwich High School and then 2 years here at Monomoy. So second class to graduate. And okay, I really have to toot my own horn and say I was the school committee rep for my class. So it feels very good and comfortable for me to be back here. And we have so much to share with you, but I'll let my lovely colleague introduce herself.
Thank you, Len. Gracias, muchas gracias. Hola, ¿cómo están?
Hola.
Bien, gracias. Thank you. Thank you for giving us this space. We're going to talk today about Primer Festival Anual de Latinos en Cape Cod. We have a little slide when I tell a little more about me. So I want to show you a video before tell you a little more about me. The only thing that I'm going to tell you about me is that my Spanish is a little better than my English, so please excuse and be patient with my English.
Cape Cod is a wonderful place full of history and memories. Thousands of people with different and beautiful colors, cultures, and traditions. 339 square miles with warm and caring people. People from here and from all around the world. 15 towns. More than 230,000 people, more than 46,000 children, more than 17,000 foreign-born people. We all are part of this community. Cape Cod is the home for all of us. Hola, Cape Cod. Hello, Cape Cod. Hola, Cape Cod. Hola, Cape Cod. How is Cape Cod?
Cape Cod.
Hola. Cape Cod. Namaste, Cape Cod. Buongiorno, Cape Cod. Wagwan, Cape Cod. Dabro Banal, let's say what? Cape Cod. Ahoy, Cape Cod.
Everybody knows Sam.
We all are welcome to Cape Cod. Cape Cod for all.
I'm sorry for the audio. Please apologize for that, but we concentrate a little more in the voices. That's cute too. Okay, we want to talk about who are we, why we're talking about a festival and how this born, and what is the proposal about this the first festival annual de Latinos en K-pop, and Monomoy paving the way. So, who are we? I'm Colombian and a Latina. I came to K-pop 10 years ago with a very bad English. I barely can understand. My husband is from here, so I had to learn. I still have some time when I say, no, nothing. So I ask my daughter what my husband say because I don't understand sometimes. I'm mom of 2 children of Harvard Elementary. She's my daughter, she's here because my husband is with my son that is also playing soccer as a good Latino too. He's with the soccer team, crazy.
And Caroline did the audio for that video that you just heard.
That's her voice. That's her voice. My kids are bilingual. They speak perfect Spanish too and English. She teaches me English. And my students teach me English. I'm an engineer with a specialization in project management. I was advisor of the Vice Minister of Technology in Colombia. I work in a lot of impact projects for community in Colombia with the use of technologies. And I work for some project also with the Minister of Education in Colombia, so I can understand a lot about the difference and the problems that we have, especially in our countries with education and equity. I was co-creator of that project, K-Cup for All, with the with the Department of Early Education and Care. And I'm a proud Spanish teacher here in Monomoy with the most amazing team partner in my life. So this is me. Tell us about you. A little more about you.
Bueno. So again, for the 3rd time now, my name's Lane, and I'm so happy to be here sharing with you guys. I'm so grateful and honored to be partners with this lovely lady. 2 years together. Feels like longer. So again, I'm actually from Princeton, Mass, but I was a summer kid until I was about 14. I was a student here, and I went on to Whittier College in East LA in California, and where I started picking up the Spanish, and then had the pleasure of studying in Argentina, Colombia, and Mexico, and in Brazil too, because I love to speak Portuguese as well. And that brings me to my involvement in the Latino community, but also especially with Brazilian people. That I serve on the board of an organization that just changed. It was called the Ministerio de Salud Health Ministry in Hyannis, and we have just officially changed the name to the Brazilian Resource Center. And so I've been teaching ESL in the evenings there as well. And finally, we have created this amazing group that we're going to tell you about that's called Latinos in Cape Cod on Facebook, and you can also find us on Instagram, but we'll get there. So that's a little bit about who we are.
Okay, about why a festival and how this community started.
Yes, exactly. So in alignment with the Portrait of a Graduate, which I proudly have displayed in my classroom, we were thinking about, with all of the involvement that we got with our Facebook group, like I said, Latinos in Cape Cod, and we will show you that basically, as you see in the video, and also as we're seeing in our school population, that the population on the Cape is changing, right? So we're seeing more of everyone, but generally we're starting to see an uptake in the Latino community on Cape Cod, specifically in Monomoy. I believe that in 2018, we have some data that it was about 6% Latinos, and this is from the strategic plan in 2018, and we're getting there. Now we're at 10.4%. We see it everywhere. We hear Spanish more. I feel that once you go out of Harwich Chatham, it's hard not to hear somebody speaking Portuguese or Spanish. So our community is changing, and we are trying to meet this need and be with the times. So we had this idea to really, first I should back it up and say in December, we had a wonderful Colombian cultural celebration. I believe it was the Friday before Christmas break. And we were shocked that we had between 60 and 70 community members show up to this school on a Friday evening at 6 p.m. to join with us in celebration. So we had, oh my gosh, parents of both of our students. You know, there's Claudia's beautiful son in the bottom right corner of that picture on the top left. And you can see we had all these people, everybody showed up with food, we were celebrating, we were reading different...
The tradition
Exacto,
of
de
the
Colombia.
celebration. We sing songs, and the kids were singing in Spanish. We were teaching. You know, when we grow here, we sometimes lose a lot of things. And as a parent, we lose more because we are in the day by day, and it's hard to teach our kids to continue with the heritage and of our culture. So spaces like this make us remember. And when we are together, it's easier because maybe if I don't do it, but my friend help me. So we all collaborate and cooperate, and we are trying to maintain all this heritage that we have and make that diversity and all this culture richer for all of us.
Yes. And so I would say that from this event that we had, we realized, wow, we really have a lot of interest in this, you know? So that was where our Facebook group was born, Latinos in Cape Cod, and we have almost 200 members, and every day it's growing. And we have themes every day of the week where we share resources, connections, all these many different things, Latinos Inspiradores, Inspiring Latinos, the list goes on and on. So from there, we decided, okay, we're thinking about this festival.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
So we participate in the festival for the celebration of the annual lunar Chinese. And I see a lot of people from the community that I know here, from different parts of Cape Cod. And we started with an idea. I was a Colombian there that is also a teacher here in Cape Cod in another school. And we were talking, oh my God, we have the group. And looking all this celebration, we must do something like that because we feel that this will help us. So the idea born that day, and I post in the group, and immediately a lot of people start to say, I want to help. Mm-hmm. I want to do this. I want that we all do it. We really need this in our community, and that will be a very valuable space for us. So we had this amazing woman that her name is Tara Vargas. Maybe some of you know her, but she's totally, I would say, a groundbreaker in our community. She's been honored by the governor, by Representative Kip Diggs, many people throughout our community. And she is Puerto Rican and shares about, and we had the pleasure of meeting her here with our principal. But anyways, basically she proposed, you know, is anybody interested in doing this Latino festival? And we are so fortunate to tell that we have collaborated with her, and through her organization, which is called Amplify POC, as well as the Arts and Justice Collective, she's willing to financially support our festival here at Monomoy Regional High School, and hopefully in October. Oh, good. So we have another meeting here with our group, and we tell to everybody the ideas about, and together we make what can be like our dream event. What are the different spaces that we will have to have for everybody? In this meeting, there were a lot of parents from Monomoy too. Yeah. So that makes it very interesting for us, and we are really proud for this. And it was very nice because that was May 3rd. So the next weekend, that weekend was May 5, Cinco de Mayo. That is a very important celebration for the culture. And one of our guests, one of the persons that came, is from the town that this celebration started, from Puebla. And he told us the story, and was something amazing because that is very different to just read it from the books or to watch the videos. And then we bring it to one of the classes, and they tell the story in the classes. And oh my God, I have to share in our Facebook all the amazing things that the students tell about this experience. They make an article about the experience, telling about this, and for them to share with the community and to share with the people like this, it was another level of experience and learning that I think that's the kind of thing that we don't forget. Okay, muy bien. So, Primer Festival, what is all this about? Primer Festival Anual de Latinos en Cape Cod. The proposal is October 5th of this year, here in the high school, so please save the date. What we are doing. So we have six different spaces. So one space is our main street from door to door that it will become en la Avenida Latina. So it's la calle principal de nuestra Avenida Latina. We want in all that space to put the different flags of the 21 countries that speak Spanish, including in Brazil, because it's Latino to NIT. So all the countries here, we are in a community finding people from representation from all the different countries, people that come here and show us the culture, and maybe families that want to make a dance and bring the typical dresses, or they want to bring and show us the different food that they have in home. What are you proud, the things that you want to show about their countries? We have in the cafeteria espacio like a business moment, like all these. It was hard for me when I came here to find my place. So I understand the road that the immigrant has in here. And what amazing is I have a lot of ideas, but I don't know what to do with ideas. In this space, we're gonna take those ideas and we're gonna help to these Latinos to how can those ideas become a business or become in the next step. So this space will be for that. We have a third space in the gym. There is supports and resources for the families with all different kind of resources for kids, a concurso, a contest for Latin decorations, a contest for hacer arepas, and different kind of things that move us like Latinos. In the auditorium, we have a space called Latinos Inspiradores, when we're gonna talk about what are our, I always forget the word, derechos y deberes?
Rights, and, rights, basically.
Rights y
Derechos,
deberes.
Sí. Rights and responsibilities.
Responsibilities. Latinos Inspiradores, who are the stories from Latinos here that we want to show because it inspires, because they give us a clue about how to walk in this road in K-Cup. Presentación de escuelas de español y portugués. We already has been working and know a lot of the Spanish teachers in different districts, so it's amazing. We are proud and we are friends. We know that some of them are Colombian and Mexican, and oh my God, I had no idea that they exist until recently, so that's something amazing. So make something that they participate to. A talent show, because we love talent shows and we want to show what we are, and we maybe have not a space to do it because maybe we don't feel comfortable to do it. So this space makes us welcome and make us feel comfortable to show and to show all that culture that is beautiful. And at the end, we're gonna go to a soccer championship, a little one, soccer like the kids call it, like the soccer cup. And of course, we are thinking about bringing food trucks and some other activities around that make the people to come. So this is basically, I don't know if you want to add something here, but this is that's the main idea about this.
Just that the idea is, of course, that the event will be free because it's in collaboration with these two organizations, and we just want people to come and celebrate and enjoy themselves.
Yes, exactly. So we made this, we find the help with Amplify POC to the Arts and User Collective.
Yes.
So we are so happy for that. And Monomoy paving the way. We have everything. We have everything. We have the energy, we have the scenario, we have the needs, our community, we have the people here. So we want we really want to do this.
Yes.
So we want to please ask you to follow us. This is Monomoy Speak Spanish, our Instagram. We post there all the different things that we do in the classroom, the amazing job that the students make in Spanish, that we are really proud of our classes. We push them a lot. I'm very pushing because I'm Latina, so I push a lot, and you have to learn Spanish. You are here learning with me and with us. So yes, you will see a lot of hard work. And this is the group in Facebook, Latinos in K-Cup.
And I think it's worth sharing that between Claudia and I, we have over 200 students with a lot of students coming in next year. So if you know anyone that's trying to make a decision, please have them check out our Instagram. Like she said, we post a lot of what we do, and they'll get kind of an idea of the vibe. And I think that we have a wonderful time, and we'd love to have you follow us there and join us on Facebook, Latinos in Cape Cod.
And also, for our students, this event will be an amazing opportunity to practice Spanish, to learn the culture, to know the people in the community. I mean, there are a lot of learning space for all of us.
And that's why I want to just circle back so quick to the portrait of a graduate just at the beginning, just because when I was rereading, I just feel like it's really worth sharing. So this is part of our vision that we're all, working hard to make happen. So to have the kids really be civically engaged and have these real world experiences, I mean, we want our classes to be as engaged in this festival as possible. We're definitely hitting them up to help us out. And we want them to see, there's more to these four walls. There's a lot of different people living here and working here and having very different experiences. And the more that they can be exposed to that at a younger age, I truly feel the better off we all are. So we thank you so much. And the reason why we're here is because we're looking for your feedback and we're curious about what you think. If you have ideas, are you excited? Are you not excited? What do you think? And again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see.
Anyone have any questions, discussion, feedback?
A question.
Sure.
Do you have, I mean, it's outstanding what you're doing. Do you have, and maybe I may have missed it, but are you reaching out to the community to help supply or sponsor some of the events?
So yes, absolutely. So part of the idea is that we have some food trucks and some vendors. So definitely we will be soliciting. We're working. So what we did, we should have talked a little bit more about our process. Forgive us. So the event that we had May 3rd was kind of soliciting feedback from community members that feel represented in this group and that are interested in taking a part. And so our first step was get community feedback. We met with our funders, like we said, Tara and the two organizations. And our last step was, of course, getting feedback from you all. And then we'll kind of round it all up and say, okay, this is now our finalized plan if everybody feels good about it. So definitely a part of the Amplify POC and the Art and Justice Collective is to highlight particularly business owners in the community that are people of color. So we will be soliciting those kind of people, but we will be putting it out to everyone, who's interested in partaking. And I hope that answers your question.
It does. Also, have you reached out to some of the other schools as well?
Yes, absolutely. We're in collaboration with Bourne, Nauset, Sturgis, even Cape Cod Academy. I'm trying to think. Definitely Bourne, Mariela. ¿Quién más? Sturgis West and East. Definitely Nauset. There's 5 Spanish teachers at Nauset. DUI.
We were the last weekend in the Nauset festival, multicultural festival. We were like Monomoy speak Spanish. We were there and we part of the festival too.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we hope that everybody shows up and shows out. Thank you, Christina. Yes.
I'm so excited for this. This is great. I'd love for you guys to come back in the fall when you do have that final plan so that you can share kind of a little more detail about what's going to happen on that day. And making it a Saturday makes it accessible for a lot of families. So that's great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Jackie?
A great presentation, very exciting. Love the direction you're going. Are you going to be seeking anything else from us, or was just informational? Are we going to need to vote on this for the use of the school? You're using you want to use the Main Street, the cafeteria, the auditorium, the turf field, the gym. So
yes,
it
we
brings
definitely want your approval. We want to make sure.
So I guess I'm gonna leave it to the superintendent on how we rent space or however we do that, because that's not my area.
Okay.
It does seem like a large event, which is amazing.
Yes.
And definitely multi-community.
Yes.
It sounds like an event that actually needs to have a little bit more structure to it.
Yes.
Insurance,
Yes.
things like that.
Right.
Because here I am, this elf in the room. And I will leave that up to whatever the school district feels is appropriate, that they need to make sure that everything's run safely, and however that works. I'm not sure if you're looking for this to be a Monomoy sponsored event, or if you're looking to, those are the questions I have. Like, what are you looking for approval from us? Is it approval to use the space? And in which case, if we love the idea and we approve the space, I'm going to leave it to the powers that be on how they want that to look and run. those are my questions, because obviously it takes custodial staff, it takes
Yeah,
grounds crew,
exactly.
a lot of
Police.
our staff, police,
Yeah.
it takes a lot more to coordinate than we need to know where you just need to let us know when
Right.
you work with them, what, you're going to need to come back to us probably before,
Yeah. Okay.
Once you get things rolling. So those are kind of my immediate concerns, but, I think it's all really exciting, and I hope it's as large as you plan it to be, and maybe it's something that can continue to grow, which is great, and maybe other schools pick up on it, and like each year a different school sponsors it, or however that looks, but
Right.
that's just kind of my immediate feedback, but great job.
Yes, no, thank you very much. That's why we're here. We need that feedback and direction. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my question, because I know Tara Wallace. So did Tara, and I just want to make sure I understood, did Tara approach you all for a venue, or did you go to her?
I meet her before here the last year in the summer in the trainings that we have here in the school. And we just get in touch, just talking, a lot of different things in common. I was in the lunar year, and I was talking with her in there, just casual. But when I post in the group and she's in the group, she posts in the group that she will fund the event. Okay. So we came with the idea, and she immediately, it was the same day, she immediately said, okay, I just support this event. Mm-hmm. Yes, she told us, I was looking for this. I have been waiting for this for a long time, and I see finally that this is happening. So this is amazing.
Yeah.
So that's a good question
connection.
that Jackie
Yeah.
had asked too, is that not only did Tara did agree to sponsor, but we also did apply for a grant through the Mass Cultural.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really Googled the whole name, but I really did write the whole thing, so I will give it to you. Yeah, Mass Cultural Council.
Yeah.
Yes, pardon me.
Yep.
So we're hopeful.
Great.
Yep, great.
And that was with our building principal approval.
Yeah.
Yes. Great. Thank you.
Just, I would say a quick first step, if you haven't done it already, is start working with the business office and even Leah to just make sure that everything's booked, because the place books out, a long time in advance, and if you want to be using the fields, we need to make sure that we're working with the athletic department so that there's not games on the fields and like that.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Because you already have a date, so I would, yes to what he's saying, because the date, you already have the date. I know we've done conferences and things at the school before, so it can be done. I think we're all just wondering what the process is, so, but it sounds great.
There is a proposal too that responds to the National Heritage Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yeah.
That goes from September 15 to October 15.
Right.
So it's a big celebration all over the country. So we say, okay, it's the perfect scenario for us to celebrate our heritage, but we can't do it just in the beginning. So we think that was like a good time just for October 5th.
Okay, good. And just to follow up too, because if you're going to have police presence, I mean, all of that stuff has to be arranged ahead of time. So just make sure. And I have one other question, because you said you had over 200 students. So is there a plan for your students to have a role in this other than just attending?
Yes, definitely. Yes. Yes.
We make projects. We make a lot of projects in the classroom, so we will be sure that they will involve totally with the cultural part.
And actually, we were fortunate enough last weekend to have some student volunteers that attended the festival in Orleans as well. So they're very eager and excited to be a part of it. And I like to think that they're proud to be Spanish students.
Okay, good.
And Jackie?
Yeah, my final question is to kind of piggyback off of Dr. Carpenter's, is that maybe you might also, I don't know what our schedule is, I mean, with fall sports, et cetera, you may not be able to use an area, but I would double back and look at Harwich Cultural Center too, just in case.
Right.
Because this would be, that would also be an ideal location. It's exactly what they're for.
Right.
So if for some reason, this didn't work out or whatever it would be, definitely have that conversation with someone at the Harwich Cultural Center and see if they have availability on the calendar, because it may work there as well.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And they have a cultural director, so please reach out to her. I can't emphasize this enough. You've got a date, so I would go ahead and encourage you to get something booked. Okay. Yeah.
Anybody else? Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Next up, our Special Education Parent Advisory Council, CPAC presentation. Melissa McGuire. Hello.
Good evening, Melissa McGuire, Director of Student Services. I'm up here for 2 seconds because I want to introduce our amazing Special Education Parent Advisory Council, although it's one tonight. Stephanie Goley is going to present activities and a survey she sent. As you know, one of our requirements regulatory-wise is to have a CPAC. We've been very blessed with Stephanie and Emily over the past few years, so I'm going to give it to her.
Yeah, I got the. So I feel bad following all the really fun things, and I get to talk about CPAC feedback. Oh, that does work. Okay, so we did that. I'm not going to read these slides. The CPAC is a Special Ed Parent Advisory Council. We are a very small group. It's basically Emily and I, and sometimes other parents pop in. We haven't had a ton of luck having meetings where people actually attend. Every once in a while that happens. So we are just sort of leading the charge as there is a CPAC, it exists. If you need anything, email us, and when a need arises, we will do more than that. But that's been kind of our year, trying things and not getting much traction. The CPAC is a mandated group that the school district has to have. So we have a few different things that we need. We have to have bylaws. We have to offer a certain number of educational meetings to parents throughout the year. Last year, we created this mission statement for what we want our CPAC to focus on. We really wanted to work on supporting families and connecting families, and that has been challenging, but we still aspire to do that. This is what we did this year. We had our basic rights workshop, which is the required thing that we have to do so everyone can understand the IEP. We held a general meeting at the beginning for Monomoy families. We did it at Harwich Elementary, and I think Emily, Melissa, and I were the only people, but we had some good snacks and we had good conversations, so that was good. We have a Facebook page, which we throw things up there here and again. And then this year, we also surveyed the families on special ed services. We did the same survey a couple of years ago, so we thought, I don't think it really needs to be done every year, but every other year. So we just did it. Everything came in last Friday, so I'm just going to present some of the results from that survey. This was the breakdown. There were 50 responses this time. Last time we did it, there were 89 responses. And I will say, I think we tried harder last time. We sent out probably double the number of reminders. You know, people need to have it in their face like 10 times before they actually do something. So we didn't have as many reminders this year. So we had 50 people respond. And this is sort of the breakdown of who they are. The first question is, how would you rate the special education services provided by Monomoy? You know, 66% gave it a 5, which is the high rating, which is really, you know, hopeful and inspiring. So we should all feel good about that. This is kind of has people rate the responsiveness of different parts in the school. And you can see purple's excellent, green is good. So almost every group, from the general ed, special ed teachers, the therapists, the admin, the school admin and district admin, everything is very high. So that's good to see. Things that are working well, I generally went through and just kind of pulled out themes. So the numbers after are sort of the number of comments that were made about that. So what's working well? Lots of great comments about teachers. Lots of people talking about the extra attention in the small groups, the one-on-one work, and the communication as being very good. Then what's not working well for your student, I will say, so the first two have a number by them. The ones underneath that were just one-offs, like one person said it, but everything was so good. I felt like I didn't want to come in and have people not believe me that everyone thought everything was great, but they really do. The people who responded, which typically, if you're not happy, is when you respond, and really that we got a lot of really great responses. So I just had to balance it a little bit with the people who were unhappy. These were their comments. So 4 people, mentioned that there were problems with peers, harassment situations, and not feeling like they got the support from that. A couple parents felt like there was a lot of idle time or lack of structure. And then, again, the rest are all just one-offs. Then some people said there were too big of groups, but in what was working well, there were people who said, I like the small group. So, it just depends on the experience. You're going to get both sides. There was one person that felt like there was a non-compliance with the IEP, but again, that is one person. Other parents felt like a lack of progress. Anyhow, there's some of the comments. And you have copies of this, right? Okay, good. I had another question, what supports would be helpful for your child? A lot of people talking about more communication, more check-ins, help with transition, how to support students at home. There were a few comments about certified staff, having people have special certifications in specialized programs, and then some peer support. I'm not going to read all of this. These were just other notable comments. So many people were just so, this is sort of the open-ended question, like what else do you want to say? And there were so many positive comments about happy and grateful people we were to have such an amazing school district to work with, how great the teachers are. One person said some complaints were ignored, and that summer school ESY is not sufficient. But again, those were like single comments. And then I just pulled a couple of quotes out just to see. I just felt like these were notable. And the last one I loved, they all deserve raises. That's for the teachers. So I thought I'd throw that in for you guys. You can read that on your own. So some plans we have for the future is to continue offer the required workshops, hopefully build more capacity. Another thing we made a couple years ago, we have this little brochure about the CPAC that has our contact info, what the CPAC is, and it's supposed to be given at IEP meetings, but I don't know if that actually happens. I know I have 2 children with IEPs, and I was not given one at either of my children's IEPs, so I don't know. We need to figure out if that's happening. We hope to make more connections for families, especially young families who maybe are new to the district, and then we'll continue to offer this caregiver survey every other year or so. And that's our contact info. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Madam Chair, a couple questions. You said that the survey was done 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago. And then,
what did you see the changes were between 2 years ago and now?
my hope was to put them side by side so you could see the change. And then the size of the graphs were just not fitting on my slides how I wanted. So I'm like, I am just not doing this.
What was the biggest change that there was between the last 2 years?
I feel like it is very similar, and it was hard actually to compare because there were 89 responses last time and 50 this time, so I feel like that's enough of a difference that the percentages can maybe seem a little skewed. So I don't know. I wonder if that's is it on the website somewhere, like the results from the last one?
Joy, are those online? If not, we can put them up. What's that?
We do have a page. Yeah. I feel like it might be on there. I didn't go through the analysis. I felt like once I started looking, it was like, yeah, but that was 50 people and that was 89 people, and I feel like the themes were different, were similar, I mean.
The other question I have is in terms of the question of what supports would be helpful for your child. Communication was number 1, 5. What specifically does that mean?
It was kind of a gamut. Like some people felt like there was not enough communication. They wanted more throughout the year. Some people felt like they only got to hear what was going on once a year, like at the IEP meeting. There wasn't like regular follow-up. even though we get progress reports and things. So some of it was not very descriptive. One parent felt like she wasn't, I don't know if it's a she, that they were not being heard about an issue that they had with their student, and they weren't getting the communication back about the issue. So a number of different types of things.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I'm curious about, because it is hard to find the right time for everybody to come for a meeting. And are you all connecting with the other CPACs on Cape Cod, or just a?
We have done that in the past. We did last year. We kind of set up meetings, like one district would hold one meeting, we would hold another meeting. I feel like, I don't know why we've done them online, we've done them in person, we've offered childcare, we've brought food. I don't know.
I'm going to help Stephanie out on this one. So multiple districts actually don't have CPACs. So one of the things we did through the collaborative, through the Federation for Children with Special Needs, Leslie, who is the president of that organization, we worked with her to try to create one CPAC for the Cape. So you have to go through this legal process to do that because the state requires each school district, and you have to demonstrate significant amount of work to say that you don't have a CPAC. So part of that problem is probably three of us, DY and Bourne and us, have consistently come to the table, offered, because we pay for our subscription to MassPAC. So the three districts offer the rest of the districts that one training that is required. So each year, because there's three different trainings that you offer. We each choose one. We then publicize it to all the other schools. And even, I'm trying to even remember how many people came, maybe 3?
Yeah.
I think
And
three
one of them was
came
me, and I've been
one-
to it 100 times.
I don't count me, but you, right. And even when we had Matt Flynn from the Bureau of Special Ed Appeals come to really offer, like, what's due process, it was me and Matt in the room. And so it's a struggle. So Stephanie's done a great job, and Emily, they've done a superb job. I couldn't ask for two better. Like, I go and kind of brag to the club, like, oh, I've got, and everyone else is like, I don't have anyone, like, so I'm just trying to, it's a Cape and Island issue. And we get it, that families go home, there's no right time. I offered a parent training, 4 of them for the new IEP process. I offered 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, 1 on the weekend, and not one person came. And it's not bad, this is not bad on parents. Stephanie, I know what Stephanie does when she goes home, okay? I do know, okay? And I can't even, I can't believe that she actually attends some of the things, knowing what she has to do. So parents are working, and then at home, for our parents, they're taking care of their child. And it's very difficult to get childcare for some of our children who have very special needs. So just trying to not put you on the spot with it, but there's a lot that's difficult in order to facilitate a CPAC, so.
Yeah, I think, and I hear you, and this has been ongoing. I won't go into years of history, but I'm wondering too, in today's times, I don't know if there's like a gathering place even online where, because what you all do, Melissa, the group, is offer such amazing trainings and resources, and I'm just kind of curious, like just to do a video and drop it into a private Facebook group so that people can watch it and ask questions. I don't know if that's an option, because I think it is hard to find that right time, as you've experienced, and yet you have such great trainings and resources that people need, and I'm just trying to think, how do you get this to people? So it's just a thought. I don't know, I'm just going to put it out there.
Yeah, the IEP training, I'm going to video record as if people were actually in the session with me, and then post it. So I'm going to pretend to be talking to people.
Oh, yeah.
Here, but yeah. I'm going to video that because I agree, because that one's really important, but we've tried.
And I will say I was involved with the CPAC at DY. My older son went to DY for a bit, and we had like a really good core group and we went gangbusters and did all of this stuff. And then all of a sudden it just like fell off a cliff. I don't know what happened, but it just stopped and it was really challenging. And so I think what we're doing now, we just have a different, like, it's really tiring to just keep trying and trying and trying. And so we're holding the rules of the law. We have a group, we're doing our mandated things, and if stuff comes up, I would love for there to maybe be a representative from each school who was on the CPAC, and maybe it was more, I think if, an administrator reaches out to a parent and says, hey, I think you would be great for this, would you be able to do this? Maybe people we could at least get a core group, more than just two of us.
I know, it's how we get you and Emily.
Well, that's two schools covered. We need to.
What you do, though, I just want to say, I appreciate what you do. It's very, very, very important. And I just, because I'll sometimes stumble on people's comments out in social media, and they're hungry for some information. And I'm like, how do you get these people to you? Because they're not here asking them randomly. So it's just,
I feel like, when you have a child who has certain needs, whatever realm you're in, all of a sudden you get all of this information at once, and it's like 50 brochures, and you're like, what do I even do? Mm-hmm. And you don't even know you might even have the information until you start needing something, and I need something specific, and how do I find it? Then you start reaching out.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
It's very important.
Anyone else, questions, comments? Thank you
Thanks,
so
Stephanie.
much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Next on our agenda, donation from MRHS to Sharing Kindness.
Good evening, school committee. Michael McMillan, school business manager. We have generally this district is not allowed to make charitable donations. However, when it goes through the student activity accounts, if it's something that students would wish to do, because it's their money, they're allowed to do whatever they like with it, including give it to charity. We just, as good form, come and get school committee approval. And that's the advice of this day, is the school committee should approve donations to charity from student activities. So the National Honor Society of Monomoy Regional High School, they have a student activity account, and they have raised funds, and they would like to make a donation of $1,000 to support the efforts of the high school team for the Suicide Awareness Walk, which happens annually.
Anyone? Jackie?
Do you want a motion?
Sure.
I move to approve the donation of $1,000 from the student activity account for the National Honor Society of Monomoy Regional High School to support the efforts of the Monomoy Regional High School team for the Suicide Awareness Walk to Sharing Kindness.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Sorry. Thank you very much.
Motion passes. Did I say that? Next on our list are the subcommittee preferences, and we have a blank sheet in our packet. If everyone can put down a few options that you would like to be considered for subcommittee, and get that back to me, Leah? Back to me by June 1st? That would be fabulous.
By June 1st.
June 1st.
Would you like us to, I guess, email it to you then? Because we.
Whatever works. If you want to take a picture and email the picture,
Okay.
if you want to scan it, whatever you guys
All right.
can do, easiest way.
And I was just informed that Leah will send out a digital copy as well.
Perfect.
Thank you, Leah.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Boy, you were right on it. Next up is setting the summer meeting schedule. Do we have a calendar? We don't. All right, I'm not sure. What's the question? Wednesday?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So typically we have one meeting in July, but that meeting has to be before July 15th.
Before July 15th?
Sorry.
When we look to close the fiscal year.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so normally, so we close the fiscal year on July 15th. That's when we should have decided, we should have paid our final bill, our final voucher for the previous year, or for this year, and also any bills which are being, or purchase orders, sorry, which are being rolled forward. That should be done before July 15th as well. So if we can do that, that would be great, as close as possible to it.
So it looks like, I know we were talking about Wednesdays for the summer,
Yeah.
so Wednesday, July 10th, does that work with everybody's
Well,
schedule?
if we could do could we do the I don't know if it's,
Oh, listen.
The
I know.
third before the holiday?
oh, it's just before the holiday.
Yeah.
Or not July 11th then?
So the Wednesday is the
Yeah,
10th.
stick it to the Thursday, I mean,
is
keep to the
11th.
Thursday of that week.
You want Thursday?
Wow, it's just July 10th is really early for us to have everything wrapped up. especially with it.
Versus the
So
11th?
just to give us one more day, pardon? Yeah, hey, it'll make a
July
difference.
11th.
I love to
If it-
bother you.
If it's a major problem, don't, one day is not gonna make that much difference, but
July
if we can stick to the Thursday for that day.
So, Madam Chair, we're missing 2 school committee members tonight, but I guess we can go ahead and pick the date and just hope that they're okay with it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay. Thoughts?
I could do July 11th.
I'm good with July 11th.
July 11th.
Great.
Sounds
July
like it's
11th.
good.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Send me a reminder.
And then I was also just reminded that in August, it's usually one meeting and then our workshop
Separately or on the same night?
separately.
Okay, and we're back to Wednesdays for August, correct? Yes. And actually, I did want to ask, is anyone interested in moving the nights to Wednesdays regularly? Because we've had a ton of conflict with school events on Thursdays. I, as a parent, have missed a few things here and there. So I don't know if anyone has issues with moving it to Wednesday. Oh, never mind, not on the agenda, never mind. I thought it was being put on the agenda.
Well, okay, summer, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Back to the summer.
Just summer right now.
Yeah. Go back into August. Wednesdays,
But Madam
Thursdays.
Chair, hold on. So, open meeting law does allow us to discuss dates. So, I know it's not on the agenda, but by email, we can discuss dates if you want to just send out to say, how does Wednesday look? I mean, but open meeting law does allow conversation around dates, setting date. We just can't talk about items, but
Right.
dates are okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can do that
But you said by email.
by email. I think we could probably, I mean, it's not on the agenda, but it's, I don't think, I mean, I don't know that we can discuss or just to see if there's opposition to it, I guess, tonight. Setting MRC summer meeting schedule, we can just ask about it.
Okay. We're going to go back to the August for Jackie.
I need to clarify. So the agenda item, setting Monomoy Regional School Committee summer meeting schedule. So you're asking about the July 11th meeting, because that is what needs to happen before the 15th. And then the other 2 things that involve the summer would be the workshop and the one meeting in August that we
Correct.
have. And is there a date selected for the meeting right now?
For August?
Yes.
No, that's what I'm asking for.
Okay,
Guys,
so
people's
Leah, do we
schedules.
have a date?
There was a preliminary date, but nothing, I would have just held to the regular Thursday dates. But again, I know that this is a conversation that we enter in as we reorg.
Right, so because I think that we should pick the August, I think we should do this, because it says summer schedule.
Right.
So I think we should pick
Yeah.
the August dates. What's the first August date that's available, Leah?
So you could do the 7th? Hold on. Just get back to
So you're looking at Wednesdays, okay.
If you're, I guess you have to decide amongst yourselves if you want to move to Wednesdays. If that is the conversation, then you could look at the 7th and the 27th for the meeting, 21st for your workshop. Alternatively, the 8th and the 22nd. There is an admin retreat on the 7th, so just be mindful of that, because admin will have a full day that day on the 7th, but.
So I think history tells me that Wednesdays have been better because lots of people go away, or it's kind of the middle of your work week is a little bit better, so I think it can be a consensus that we decide to do Wednesday or Thursday. So that's the first thing that needs to happen. And then once you get the consensus, if they want to do Wednesday or Thursday, then we can pick what those 2 dates are.
Going back to my original question of, does Wednesdays work for everybody? Do we want me to go around the room and do it individually, or can we just all?
Can I clarify your question? So you're, just to make sure, we're talking just August only? Is that what you're saying?
At the moment, yes.
Okay, yeah. I think you can just throw it out to the group and do a consensus or non-consensus. Tina?
I think Wednesday's great for me. Did you say goodbye?
Oh, she said goodbye.
I'm good with Wednesdays for the August meetings.
Wednesdays are fine.
Wednesdays are good.
I would prefer Thursdays. I thought those were the nights when the meetings were.
Gotcha.
So, but certainly for the summer, Wednesday would be okay.
Yep,
Okay. I do have to say, I am away on the 21st. That's the only thing, it's college. So we might have to look at a different date. But, so we'll look at the Wednesdays. Are there any other available Wednesdays other than 7th? I can't see that.
14th. The 14th you could do. I mean, it depends on how you want to space them. Just be mindful that we also paying bills, so if we're meeting on the 11th of July, that puts a big gap between when those warrants, well, I guess it's a little bit different now, being signed off on, but, you know, to approve payment out to vendors and the like, so just be thinking about that.
Madam Chair, maybe. Does the business manager have an opinion?
Yes. Thank you.
I
love it.
You know, if there is a long gap, we can always have them approved electronically, so.
Oh, okay. So, all right,
So, Madam Chair, we could also, unless, I mean, again, I'm just looking at the calendar, we could consider July 31st. I don't think it has to be August 1. So the 31st and the 14th, we could look, which one was, you're not available which day?
21st.
21st, okay. So July 31 and the 14th is a possibility. I'd have to see what our September date is to see if that's too much of a gap. If we're looking at Wednesdays, or it's the 7th, or we could do the 7th and the 28th. I don't think it's set in stone that has to be every 2 weeks.
right.
Madam Chair, I think Leah's looking for the gap in time between the 14th and our first September meeting, but while she's doing that, I could be very wrong, but did we do a meeting and then a workshop on one night, or
Yes, we did.
we did a workshop and then a meeting, and we consolidated it to one meeting?
Yep.
Because that's an option.
We had a special meeting
That was a
night.
special meeting.
Oh, okay, all
It
right.
was just supposed to be a workshop, and we added a special
We added a
meeting.
special meeting that we weren't planning on. Okay, all right, perfect,
So
thank you.
just as a reminder, per the calendar, right now, your September meetings are the 12th and 26th,
All right.
which are Thursdays.
Okay.
So is August 14th too far from September 12th? Michael? No? Okay. Again, we can send the warrants electronically. Okay.
So we're going with the 31st and the 14th?
Yes.
Yes, and then we'll get it back to Thursdays for our new committee member.
Perfect.
And back on track.
Celtics start at 8.
Hey, listen, priorities.
Oh, where's Terry?
Terry's watching the Celtics?
I know.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
So, all right, so we're July 31 and
August
August
14th.
14th is, okay.
And July 11th.
Yes. Okay, so those will go out to our other two members. Yes.
Yes.
Now, may I just respond to something? If I understood you, were you throwing out the idea that we move out our year meetings to Wednesdays?
It was, but we're not going to do that now.
Okay.
So,
Okay, and that's fine. So when it comes back, the other thing that I don't know, is that wrapped up in our calendar that we approve, or is that not? With our whole school calendar, is that part of it?
The dates are flagged in the school calendar, yes.
Okay, yeah, so that might be a little bit bigger than, yeah.
Well, they just need to stop scheduling things on the nights we have school committee.
right.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work out that way.
Because, and if you don't mind, one other comment, because Brad raised a very good point, because I think sometimes when you putting yourself out there, you're running for office, you get
Right.
elected based on Thursdays, and now all of a sudden they're Wednesdays. I don't know that that's necessarily fair to the person, but anyway, these are conversations I would bring back
I
to
think
the
we're
next
good.
agenda.
We're good. So we're going to keep it on Thursday.
And I'll just cover for you when you have to leave.
There you go.
Anyway, we'll figure it out.
All right.
I've had a different day every year in the last 8 years, so.
I was going to say, it's been other days, yeah. So, but that's all good. All right. Anything else? Moving on. All right. Moving on to subcommittee. There's nothing under the list, but it's here. Is there anybody that's, no? Okay. Superintendent's report.
Just a few recognitions to start. On June 6th, Monomoy will be hosting the All Cape Special Olympics Game Day. We're projected to have approximately 550 athletes, which is our largest group ever. Students from Barnstable High School, Centerville Elementary, Bourne Middle and High School, Cape Cod Collaborative, DY, Nantucket, Nauset, Mashpee, and Falmouth will be participating in the games. The theme this year is Candyland, Land of Kindness. The Sail and Shore kids have been very busy creating an amazing event. Opening ceremonies begin at 9:30 a.m. with the parade of athletes around the track, national anthems, Special Olympics oaths, and a torch ceremony, and then the declaration of open games open. Earlier this week, we collaborated with the District Attorney's Office in Children's Cove to hold the Cyber Safety Summit for parents, caregivers, and educators. There's a great deal of helpful information shared about how we can all help our young people learn how to be safe and navigate technology and social media. The event was recorded and posted on our website for those who were unable to attend. And Chatham Elementary School held its annual fun run yesterday with lots of support from families, businesses, and local organizations. The event celebrated sportsmanship, fitness, friendship, with lots of high fives and supportive cheers for the runners. In terms of town meetings and elections, first of all, I just want to just make a general appreciation. I really appreciate that Brad had mentioned that he had gotten around to the various principals. I really applaud the efforts. I think I don't know of anybody who's made it even before they sat in the chair to actually hit every building and meet with everybody in central office and all the principals. So thank you for taking that initiative up front. Greatly appreciate it. I also greatly appreciate that Bree Rose has been part of our Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Advisory Committee. So it's great to have her on board too. In terms of Chatham Town Meeting, all of our Monomoy articles, including the budget, the press box, and the siding passed, and we also had the siding project was on the ballots in both towns, and it passed in both towns. So, so I'm very thankful to the voters at town meetings and those in both towns who went to the polls. That's it for me.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Carpenter. Any questions? Moving on to, we have our second reading of the policy files.
He's gonna give it to you.
Yeah. Which is,
Sorry, I gave him my nose.
I just asked for her nose.
He has 2 kids.
that's great.
Can't go home with just one.
No. That'd be bad.
We have the second reading of policy files, IJNDC, technology, acceptable use, KDC, community use of digital resources, KDCB, district website and social media. Give everybody a chance to review. Jackie, sorry.
It's okay.
Reading.
That's quite all right. I move to approve the second reading of policy files IJNDC, KDC, and KDCB as presented in your packet.
Thank you. To a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. We've already done the donation. We have the presentation of the warrants. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? Second?
Second.
We'll adjourn at 7:59 PM. 1 minute to the game.